So yeah, in case it doesn't come across, because it was in the little flare text earlier on, Kale is a police officer. So we're playing a cop starting off. And basically we're going to see what he's been doing.
Hence, big RoboCop saved you.
Exactly. So yeah, it's your first-person view. Again, graphics not bad for 99. It's kind of in that kind of realm of like your Deus Exes and Quakes. Yeah, it's well expected. Like it's PC games, lads. Times were tough back then.
Well, I mean, console, everything the same. I'd expect the same kind of sprites, the blocky.
That's it. Yeah.
3D models. I can look past that.
The models come across like a cross between Tomb Raider and Time Crisis.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's like I said, it's in that kind of realm, yeah. And the tank controls is very Tomb Raider-y. So you could actually argue this is perhaps like a Tomb Raider engine or something along those lines. But then for the shooting and fighting sections, they went complete different paths. So there's like 3 different engines at work, if you know what I mean.
Someone's actually managed to they remade Resident Evil 2, like the original one, in the old Tomb Raider engine.
Why? Why would you do that?
I love you.
It's surprisingly actually looks. Was that Lara Croft?
No, it just looks a lot like her.
Yeah.
You just saw the shock in his face for a second. Like, is the game listening to me?
I actually
The
did.
lizard coming low.
This is tripping me out. It's like it's reading my mind.
Now, I've got bad news here, lads. I can confirm you cannot pet the lizards in Omikron the Nomad Soul. So, sorry, lads. In case anyone's keeping score.
Do you know what? So far, it's kind of.
Weirdest way of saying to masturbate I've ever heard.
I'm going to call it petting the lizard from now on. That's fucking change approved.
I don't know if he's like investigating
I
something.
pet the lizard 8 times last night.
Personal record.
Jesus. The lizard was bright red at the end.
I think it was bleeding.
I don't know if he's investigating around, but it's kind of hit me like Detroit, like they almost tried to redo a section of this for Detroit in the when you're the cop and you're going investigating stuff and you're trying to. Obviously, that's more
Quantum
action-packed
Dream
or
tend
whatever.
to like repeat their kind of their pacing quite a lot. So you get this a lot of times where like you have quiet times, you wander around, and then suddenly you start shooting, start fighting. You know, so they do this all the time. This is where it kind of starts really. So you kind of notice there from the maybe it doesn't come across yet, but this is basically like this kind of authoritarian dystopia, basically, where there is a dictator and there's an AI controlling everything, that sort of stuff. So you're living in that kind of world. And this is your missus.
Okay. Oh, honey, I've missed those dead, lifeless eyes.
I thought I'd never see you again. Where have you been? I haven't heard from you in days.
Yeah, it's an attempt was made. It's one of it is that kind of that period of like PC gaming where to get a realistic face, they just got a picture of a face and started stretching it so that it wouldn't look like it was talking.
Which again, you know, I could slack for the retro games.
It's 1999. I'm not judging it in that regard. I will judge it for different things though.
They said that you and your partner Dan had gone out on an investigation and that they hadn't heard from you. That was all they could tell me.
Did you actually complete the game?
Yes.
Okay.
You're an investigating agent in the Omikron police.
So yes, the 9 hour 30 is
you
the
were
full
working
cut.
on some cases with your partner, Dan.
Poor bastard.
Yeah, in fairness, there's a lot of meandering cut out, and there's quite a lot of side content as well. To be fair,
Ben to ask him if he knew anything.
Relatively short. I suppose for the time though, it was probably a pretty long game.
Depends on what you cut.
You get through it 2 sittings, like
You never told me about
yeah,
it.
if you had to, you know.
3, yeah.
Why don't you go to your office in security headquarters? They're probably still looking.
Now, granted, like there's a lot
committed.
but it's more the case like if you can get through the action sequences because you may need a few attempts at some of them because they're poorly implemented. But again, they were doing jack of all trades gameplay. You were kind of going to get this.
That's what I was going to say. Like very clearly, from this game onwards, because you were saying this is their first game, they obviously changed the style away from actually doing like to all like quick time events.
Yes, and a lot better for it as well, by the ad. A lot better for it.
So obviously, they must have seen that this was a problem for them from this game, and
Yeah,
the formula they've stuck with since is the QTE. Like,
pretty much, yeah. So we just got a gun, and handy enough, that was a fighting area, by the way, which we will avail of shortly.
I love the Homer Simpson backing out the door, going, "Oh shit!"
It's so weird. Like that's the down button. It's you just going like, nope.
What was sorry, just the crawl and the hi.
Oh wait, it gets better.
Are we going to have an interactive sex scene?
It's not interactive. It's just a sex scene.
They love their interactive sex scenes.
Like literally, she doesn't even wait. She doesn't even wait. She's just literally just bang straight away.
The shadow.
Yeah. I was hoping you wouldn't notice that.
I love it. That's. I'm like, the shadow is all wrong.
Was it a shadow of Jonathan fucking petting his
lizard?
It's
literally just circles. It's literally just circles. It's just black circles.
All right.
That's all the shadow is in this game.
Oh, I actually see it now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's a thing like where like when your guy's standing upright, like they have one, but when she's lying down, there's like three
several
different circles.
Yeah.
She's like 8.
They're the ones I've seen, and they're not joined. They're just like individual little circles.
Yeah, like, if you don't mind me asking, why are your feet casting a shadow but not your legs? It's a medical condition.
Did anyone actually play back in the day the Batman and Robin or PlayStation?
Don't think
Possibly.
So
for the original PlayStation, PlayStation 1.
Original PlayStation.
No, probably not actually.
So it's very similar to this in terms of the models and the way things are implemented, but it's a poorly done game as well. Like, it's fucking Batman and they still can't do it. Like, it wasn't.
You have to remember though, Batman games were pretty fucking universally bad until Arkham came along.
Until Arkham came around, yeah. Like that's the thing. Like the actual producers, Rocksteady, were like they were given it as if they were selling the pulp, and they made.
Yeah, that's why I actually talked about it on Comics and Beyond on Nerds R Us channel. Please check it out.
With Andrew Hartman, I believe. Yes.
Andrew Holden. Yes, yeah, we spoke about it.
Choose your difficulty level.
Because it was weird. The Rocksteady were given it. Rocksteady petitioned for it, and then basically Warner Brothers said, "Yeah, have it." Like, you know.
Yeah,
fobbing it off on them because they reckoned, oh well, if they fuck it up, it's nothing on us. We don't give a shit. And nobody expected. And again, Rocksteady had, I believe, one game that was pretty poor before that. Like literally one title before that wasn't a great title.
I know what it was, and it was bad.
It's like Desert bad. Striker. I don't know. It's some. I don't know. So nobody expected them to do good, and then obviously they did fantastically and propelled themselves into a very big company.
Which, to be honest, like, that's a hell of a turnaround to go from one really bad game to a game that still holds up even now.
Do you know why I've heard? It's because it wouldn't have worked if Warner Brothers had faith in them. Because essentially, because Warner Brothers, now this is hearsay, of course, but this is what I've read. Because Warner Brothers essentially had zero faith in them, they left them alone. So they said it's going to be a mess anyway. So they essentially left Rocksteady to their own devices. So Rocksteady were able to go down a more comic-based route. They were able to go and contact via Warner Brothers the animated series, voice actors, and all this stuff, and implement their own fighting system where Warner Brothers wasn't over their shoulder saying they wanted this, this, and this. So they were able to take it in their direction. So yeah, it was because of the lack of faith that they were able to release that game.
I mean, like, it definitely paid off, and I just hope that it's not a case of with Kill the Justice League, like Suicide Squad. I hope that that's not going to be like Warner Brothers basically like over their shoulder.
You see, this is the thing. Well, now Rocksteady said they were only ever doing, much like Christopher Nolan, They said they were only ever doing 3 games, and that was it. And that's all they did. There's a 4th Arkham game that is not made by Rocksteady. It's Arkham Origins.
That was the Montreal crew.
Yeah, and it wasn't as well received.
No.
But there's rumors that Rocksteady are coming back for at least one more, if not a new series of them, with Court of Owls storyline.
Oh, you're talking about the Gotham Knights, is it?
Apparently it's Arkham again, but I don't know.
Because like Gotham Knights is focusing on the Court of Owls.
Yeah, I think there's lots of hearsay and speculation going around. I don't think anybody has anything concrete.
Yeah.
Right now.
Like that got pushed back to 22. It was supposed to come out during the summer of this year. Well, it got pushed back. Yeah. Which is a shame. But then again, we still have the Suicide Squad coming out, I think, this year. And fuck all details have been given about that. All we got was like the teaser trailer.
That's always a sign of developmental health.
Yeah.
There's no news, yeah. So, sorry if there hasn't been much on screen for a while. I'm just building up my fighting skill here because it will come in like really handy later on when you do need to have a bit of experience. So
little question for you, Jonathan, with regards back onto the game. Were you aware at this point, because clearly you do know that fighting becomes an issue for you later on, were you aware at this point, hence the amount of training, or what like, I'm just saying from my perspective, I'd maybe go once or twice on the training simulator and go, I'll be grand.
Okay, I'll explain this then. So, I cheated a little bit here because I had to, this is my second playthrough of the game. The first playthrough, the recording was botched for whatever reason. Well, I know the reason, it was just that the PC was like rendering a video at the time and it couldn't do both. So the whole the whole recording ended up like a fucking take on me spoof, essentially.
Right.
The first time I was doing it, I was essentially like playing on a controller. I was actually playing like a PS1 controller, and the moving around and the fighting was really good, but the shooting was terrible. So I couldn't get it right. So I switched then to keyboard properly, and it worked fine. So this is my second playthrough where I kind of got my shit together and know what I'm doing. So the first maybe half the video is quite expedient. And then the second half is me in new territory trying to figure out where to go. Yeah.
Fair enough. I just wasn't aware. So the keyboard control worked better for you than the
controller.
Yeah, than the controller.
It's weird. The way they did it was they kind of split the keyboard into different sections. So you have your directional buttons would have been walk around town, right? But not WASD, right? WASD was kept for fighting.
Okay.
All right, and then for say, well, actually, no, I'll tell you a line now. So WASD was kept for shooting, and then your mouse. So your mouse and WASD were moving around shooting, and then your fighting was was the same again, but different permutations. So say if you wanted to do a kick or something, it'd be mapped to a different button. So it kind of did it that way. I suppose kind of evading the fact that you have so many keys to work with, really.
Right.
So once you kind of get used to it, and granted, there's a bit of a run up to a sequence, so you'll know you're about to shoot, you know you're about to fight. You don't normally. They will spring a surprise on you later on in the game, but that's they're assuming you kind of got your shit together at that point. You know.
Yeah.
Okay, at this point. But yeah, this is a completely open world. So you there's shops and so forth you can go into and stock up on items if you want to. There's drugstores there, health packs, there's gun shops. There's supermarkets for food and drink and all that sort of stuff. So it is, for the time, very, very immersive. And it's a very organic feel to the town. I could have walked around if I wanted to, and it would have felt okay. And naturally for the scale of it, it's fair enough because it feels quite small. But I suppose they kind of get around that by saying they're all districts and they're all locked down because it's a very totalitarian, fascist regime that they're living under, so it all kind of works out.
Run button, right?
There is a run button, yeah.
All right. Thanks. You're just casually walking around.
Man, for cinema, I'm trying to get the thumbnail. This is Police HQ, by the way. I don't know why it's covered in green gas, but maybe that's by design.
The old Silent Hill method. If the graphics are going to clip, cover it in fog.
Yes. So yeah, I love that.
Do you get to use them?
No, we do not.
Are they like a mech suit or are they robots?
They're robots.
Oh, okay.
They are robots. Like the way this kind of like world is a bit weird. It's kind of like this weird like transhuman society where everyone has a bit of machinery in them. So like
okay.
He kind of has like something on his like on his lower back there, and his like his actual like terminal is grafted to him. Like it's actually in his arm basically. And if you look at kind of other characters, they're very similar as well. They're very tech like built into them. So it's a kind of a transhuman society, and everyone's kind of like has like some form of computer ability, if you like. But again, it's like late 90s idea of computers, so like they didn't know how it was going to evolve in a sense. So it's kind of a nice remark on it. And by the way, if you're wondering what those rings are, they're save points. Yes. So there's a little text there's a little note in our house explaining what they actually are. So whenever we collect magic rings, they're basically points for saving. So you use up one of them to save your game. But also if you die, you can if you die like an action scene, you use up a ring to continue on.
That's an interesting little premise of rather than like a set save point from an area, you can use them at any point.
Yes. Well, you don't use them at any point. There's certain points, and you use up a ring to save there. Basically.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but as for action sequences, if you die, you use up a ring there as well.
Okay.
But not only that, you're not like, oh, there's unlimited lives. No, you're limited by the amount of save points that you actually collect.
I was just going to make that point, Foxy. It negates save scumming. There's a whole deterrent. I think there's some games that did it, and kind of give it an arcadey feel, but also to stop people from save scumming. You know, like in like the old games. But yeah, this is our office, and we're just getting the details of what cases Kale was on, because our girlfriend basically said us and our partner were investigating something, and we disappeared, and we were gone for 4 days, which is a bit unfortunate.
And what's the explanation here because obviously your soul is meant to be in him now, so he's not in there, so are you? What's he popping for?
You're not in him.
It actually dawned on me there, like it's like, oh shit, he's been disappeared for 4 days, but it's not really him that came back.
No.
But that's what I mean. Is so
technically like his missus just had sex with like someone else.
Yeah,
a stranger. Yeah.
So like
body snatch.
That was not fucking sex. That wasn't. That was fucking ridiculous.
When you go into
that was the driest of pumping.
A ghost. Everybody thought you were dead, Kale.
Lots of
Me more than anyone.
It's just me, or does this guy look like the guy who used to do Crystal Maze, Andrew O'Brien? If he had hair.
Richard O'Brien,
that's him, yeah.
A little bit, yeah. A little bit.
His name, like the scowl, was like,
Let's do the time.
No, he reminds me of RoboCop.
Yes, that's a great shout. That's him,
everything reminds you of RoboCop. Foxy's gonna have to go and watch RoboCop tonight.
In fairness, yeah.
I'll buy that for $1.
Robot Jesus.
But much to your point, like in dialogue, like again, much like in the likes of Fahrenheit and Heavy Rain, you can be very fluid with the conversation and the dialogue. So like you could have said like, "Oh, I'm not Kale, I'm someone else," and I think I didn't pick that option, but I think she just fobs you off, going, "Haha, good one, Kale." You know, that's what I did. And then like if you kept like going on that path of saying, "I'm not Kale, I'm someone else."
So you don't have his memories or anything like that. You're completely fresh in this. That's why you have to figure out what case you were working on, all that stuff, blah blah blah.
who is your daddy and what does he do?
Pretty much. Yeah.
My mommy says our daddy is a sex god.
Boys have penises, girls have vaginas. I love Kindergarten Cop. It's like the best movie ever. It's such a ridiculous premise, but it's such a good movie.
Oh, speaking of fucking old Schwarzenegger movies, I watched Twins the other night.
Jesus.
There's a movie for you. It was great. Danny DeVito with a little ponytail. Fantastic.
Sorry, can we just actually remember that Arnold Schwarzenegger also did a movie, Junior, where he was a man who was pregnant.
That's right.
Very progressive. for the time.
How did he go from Predator to Junior?
Called range, Amy. Getting a phone call.